What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Today we are going to build and review this amazing looking Lego Bricklink designer program set. This is the Art Factory number 910054, a spring 2026 release designed by Marcos Garavelli and chosen for series number 6. It comes with 2,566 pieces, 10 minifigures, and went for $230 US, which puts it pretty much in the same threshold as a typical modular building. In fact, I believe it is cheaper than the 2026 shopping street. So pretty good value. Without further ado, let's get started. Impression of the set is that it definitely has some aura. This New York style brownstone represents a lot of the buildings we see in Manhattan, not only through the classic features of the facade with its add-ons such as fire escapes, awnings and whatnot, but also the modern additions such as the elevator on the side here with what appears to be like, I guess, a stainless steel support frame. So it's an old building with a modern twist. Also, it's nice that a New York style traffic signal is included, albeit rather compactly placed on the corner over here. So this is such a very cool set right from the get-go. As you can see here, this modular building has 3 stories, starting with a massive ground floor gallery, second floor studio, and also another 3rd floor studio. But these 2 studios on the 2nd and 3rd floors serve different purposes, as we will find out when we open the building. One of the coolest features of this modular building is that it is practically a 2-in-1. We have this rather square-ish look where it would occupy a 32 by 32 footprint. But as you can see, I've pried it open so that with one hand I can easily expand the model to show the full extent of the building. And by folding it out this way and turning it 180 degrees, we see that the building now takes a 64 by 16 stud footprint, which makes it look much longer. Having it this way partly recreates the classic kind of playset style that you have seen in city buildings from 1990 through today, but with a more modern adult-friendly twist. These details are definitely not for the little ones to play with. Our tour of the first floor starts with really a very basic desk assembly The glass desk looks exactly like the type of thing you would find in an art gallery, so very nice touch over there. The set comes with 3 bays acting as little storage compartments. You can slide them out and reveal something different. Little play feature here, I still cannot find the rat. I lost it sometime during building the set, but we have a piece of cheese for the mouse and some other utility features. Open up the middle one and you reveal some of the other artworks that you can swap out and display. So we have some abstract art here. We have some playful references to famous artists, Warhol style on display, and this other style here, as well as some more abstract art. All of these are stickers, unfortunately, so you have to apply them and make sure they line up, but they're pretty nifty and pretty cool. This compartment on the left also reveals a few more items. Not sure if they are art pieces or exhibition pieces or little accessories, but they make playful use. It's interesting that they include a banana, which is very similar to one of my creative liberties. This one is also secured by this sculpture over here. There are 2 kind of folding displays here that allow you to reveal other artworks or kind of seal it off over here. So you can create like a wall here that displays some abstract art, as well as my Art Basel banana, which I custom added to this set, because what was originally there was just a picture of a suspension bridge, which has been there, done that in the Lego printed part world. On this side, they are actually pretty clever with using a road plate, a road tile as an art piece. Probably super abstract, nothing really exciting there. But then you fold it over and you reveal another picture frame, which it looks like a menu, but I'm guessing that they're turning this into some sort of artwork. Some more 2D and 3D art line the first floor in full gallery style. We have the sculpture here. We have a very famous painting whose name escapes me. And we have a sculpture made purely with gold ink elements. Nice to see that color in the set. And a Warhol Classic Space minifig. This is my absolute favorite of the artwork in the set. There is a neat elevator in the set held down by tension. And my guess is that the studs on the side of the contraption over here are used to try to hold it into place within the 6x6 grid. Although you can see there are imperfections in lining that up. But the operation is pretty simple. You turn a winch and the elevator will go up and down and stay pretty much in line with the windows over here. All these windows panels are instructed to be placed facing inward. I might have made that mistake here, which is why it kind of slid out. But ideally, you should have this thing just grazing along the side walls of the glass elevator. And you can see that now that I fixed my mistake, it goes up and down perfectly. This type of design here matches like a lot of New York buildings that start out as brownstones but receive very modern modifications throughout the years. So this feels like a nice little 21st century twist on probably a 19th century brownstone. This right here is definitely the coolest detail in the set. A studs all over the place build for a grand piano. The keys make perfect use of the 1x2 grill tile in white, simplistic. And then you have some grill tiles in warm gold for the inside to match the strings inside. And you just have this incredible snot assembly using the right configuration of arches, inverted curved slopes, etc. And even curved tiles on the top over here, making for a perfect shape and something with such very minimal support as well, as it's attached by just 1 bar and gravity just holds these 2 in place. So you have a very nice, cozy assembly. Just, it might be a little on the fragile side. Of course, this is a BDP set, so these are not as heavily vetted as other Lego products, but still gets the job done and is a pretty stable build. Also in this floor, there are 3 string instruments. Looks like 1 guitar, a violin, and a cello maybe hanging out on the left side, and the cushion seat for the piano player to operate on. And the other side, we have our ballet studio where I store 2 of the 10 minifigs at. And you can see a giant speaker for the music that they're dancing to, and some play feature with a ladder and toolkit, I guess, to kind of match the nature of the building. It's kind of a forever work in progress. The gold bar is a nice simple assembly. Recent hook and clip assemblies allow for this bar to go in 2 directions, and there's a nice use of a perfectly optical mirror sticker that you get to actually see very clearly the other side, so it does the job perfectly here. And the 3rd floor is all about the visual arts. We have a photo studio over here with the appropriate flash setup, interestingly using a trans pink umbrella. Nice camera on a quad pod, I will say, not even a tripod, and what looks like a still life or ad being photographed. Nice detail there. And then we have our artist painter studio. I will appropriately place our painter over here. Comes with an ample supply of paintbrushes, paints in bottles, and other tools. 2 easels with canvases. Looks like you can just attach whatever you want to the one on the right if you wish. Lots of interesting play or display features up here. The assembly for the easels is pretty nice, using minifig neck brackets to support the structure, as well as a BV of small elements. And we have some other NPU, ice cream cone for one of the art bottles back there. Not sure if that's like squid ink or something else, and a bottle top or dome to hold the paintbrushes. And on the top is our rooftop. I guess this is where they'll have their soirees, and maybe on opening night have the receptions. A little lackluster in decoration. You would expect maybe a little bit more for the bar, but I guess we have to keep things kind of minimal. Maybe this being an 18+ set, and also possibly delving on themes of having drinks. So I'm not going to say what the drinks are. That's up to your imagination, but I guess y'all kind of get where I'm going at here. And on the other side, a classic skylight assembly. Pretty cool. And I will comment here that I'm glad that they have the classic window frame, the 1x4x6 with 2 bars. This I don't think we see very often in this color. So really, really nice to have this brought back for BDP Series 6. There is also a crane assembly used to lift cartons up. This one apparently has art inside, from the roof all the way down, to avoid necessitating the use of an elevator and whatever risks may come with it. However, it appears that the crane is largely static, just has a rotation here, and does not actually recline. It's just a static display with a fixed length of string, but still really cool detail. Reminds me of when the pianos are hoisted up and down. I've seen lots of content on popular culture showing, okay, piano hitting the ground type of thing. So pretty cool. The designer did a great job incorporating a lot of detail into the sidewalk here. So we have our fire hydrant spilling water everywhere, some foliage, and a very detailed sidewalk, including some stormwater drainage detail here, a hideout for the rat who is on the loose still, and some usual litter and garbage on the side of the road, and also a few spotlights for what it's worth. It's great, nice usage of the lattice window panes as like little grills on the sidewalk. Very similar to what you'll find in New York, except typically I think it's the subway that is below those. Pretty neat. Facade also has a few details, such as a signage indicating the various arts that are involved in this building, fire escape ladder, and looks like a fire alarm up here with a nice use of cherry pieces as part of the bell mechanism. Also some roof detail here using some dark green and black elements, including leaves and popsicle elements for some of the vintage brownstone detail. Part of what's supposed to draw me to the set would be the parts that come with it. And you get a pretty standard selection of parts. And in Bricklink Designer Program, you will not usually get recolors. So nothing here, I believe, is new. However, for me, I'm probably getting some of these elements for the first time. So it's nice to see some dark orange arches. These are the split 4-stud long arches instead of a single 1x8x2. So that's nice in pretty decent quantity. The biggest, most interesting part that comes in large quantity would be the garage doors, and you get 54 of them in this set. Also, folks that like the transparent 1x6x5 panels, you get pretty healthy amount of them here. You even get a train door in bright light blue of all colors, very unusual in this set. So that's pretty cool. And like I mentioned earlier, a pretty healthy amount of the classic 1x4x6 windows, which bring me back to Town Junior and even Classic Town. So these are really nice to have. Lattice elements, masonry bricks. I mean, okay, folks that have access to a Lego store might be kind of spoiled with the masonry bricks, myself included. But if anybody's looking to get a decent supply of them, you get a pretty healthy amount in all of the earth tones over here. Lots in dark gray, medium stone gray, dark orange, medium nougat, dark tan. So that's usually what the color scheme revolves around here. The dark green accents are nice too, and they tend to remind me of that Barnes & Noble model that's been circulating and even has been plagiarized by a clone brand. Other than that, I mean, these parts will help you build pretty much any city building, so city builders will love this as a booster pack of sorts. I think it's very useful, and lots of Technic bricks, big bricks that even justify the not as favorable price to piece ratio as compared with other sets. It's like close to 8, maybe 9 cents. But you do get a lot of meaty elements in this set, as opposed to like tiny elements such as dots, tiles, foliage all over, single flowers, etc. You really get your money's worth here. Here's a family portrait of all 10 of the minifigures in this set. Very nice variety. Nice to have some ballerina figures, which I think is a first for my collection. I suspect this guy is the designer of the set. And we have a pretty decent assortment. We have our update to the Paradisa chef over here. We have some security here, and we have some interesting characters throughout. I really like this hairpiece over here. And money is going to be a very interesting topic, because I felt the pain when I opened this set of all the resale value going down the drain, but I did not buy this set to resell. I bought it to enjoy it. Because on the secondary market already, this set must have nearly doubled in its price, at least as far as average prices go. So very hot item, very highly sought after already. Now that Series 6 is out, I'm sure when they do like some sort of late stage liquidation down the line, that the set will probably be gone within seconds, because it's really cool. And I think it's a much more worthy modular building than the shopping street that came out earlier this year. A much better investment than getting that set. And if anyone is wondering how the back of the building looks when we do the folded design for this set, this is how it pretty much comes out to be. The folding panels kind of come together like this. You could modify it so that it doesn't stick out. And the windows on the second and third floor slide into place. However, we're stuck with these hinge elements that stick out a little bit. So if you want to try to shoehorn this into a modular standard city, you might want to consider making some modifications over here. So just 4 pieces need to be modified. But otherwise, it snaps into place pretty well. And here's a side-by-side comparison with the 2-door corner, which is my most recent modular building that I purchased last year. And you can see that the Art Factory is quite taller than the 2-door corner, and you're getting this for the same price. This is also $230. But with the 2-door corner, you get a GWP. With this set, not so much. And to make matters worse for the Art Factory, the aftermarket prices are out of this world. But when the conversation tends to be about the size of the parts of the individual elements and the substance of what you're getting, this is where the Art Factory tends to win over. And I hope you have enjoyed this very special review of the LEGO Bricklink Designer Program Series 6 set number 910054, the Art Factory. I think it's a great set. I think it'll be fun. It's going to be a very popular addition to many LEGO cities all over the world, especially for the lucky collectors who have it. And it can be customized to even bigger and better things. And I look forward to sharing all the new things I create this year with y'all, but make sure that you are subscribed to Miami Brick Architect so you are the first to know. And while you're at it, feel free to share your thoughts on this video and on this building. Will you be buying this when you get a chance? What do you plan to do with it? How do you plan to use it? What's your favorite art piece? Just let me know, and we'll keep the conversation going. That said, expect a flurry of new mocks and set reviews from yours truly as I get back into this YouTube thing after a little bit of a hiatus, and those videos will be coming one by one very soon. Thanks again for watching from HQ, where the art factory is just arting. This is Dr. Toga, out.